Okay. Welcome to the Westman Wedding Expo. Ask the Experts. I'm your host, Brian Podwarny, and I get to chat with this beautiful young lady to my right. I'm not sure where she is on yours, but this is an opportunity to talk to the pros in the industry that are part of the Westman Wedding Expo and find out exactly what's hot and what's not, and so on. I don't know if you can hear, but my cat is going crazy over there, but that's okay. We'll keep going. Joining me today is the very incredibly lovely and talented Katrina Sigurdson from Party Professionals. She is the one of our co-producers in the Expo, and lots of exciting things coming up with the Expo. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Just really, today I want to talk about what it is that Party Professionals is, and talk about what people should expect when it comes to decorating their wedding and what they should look for and stuff like that. So thank you, Katrina, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Party Professionals been around for a number of years. Give us a little bit of lowdown on who you are and who Party Professionals is and what they do.
Sure. So my husband, Sean, and I started Party Professionals. We're coming into our 9th season, so almost 10 years now we've been in the industry. And what we are is basically a full-service wedding rental and decor company. So we basically do everything top to bottom in terms of weddings decor. So we do ceilings and linens and backdrops and centerpieces and lighting and all the pretty stuff that make that wedding uniquely yours. So it's we also offer the setup service as well. So we'll come in and do all the hard stuff for you, so you get a stress-free day and you're not worrying about all those extra little pieces.
It is amazing how much stress comes out from doing the decor on like right. If you have to do the decor yourself and you set up a table and you have someone else helping you out and they do it wrong, or not necessarily wrong, but they do it differently, or they have their own ideas. It's nice to be able to have someone to come in and do it.
Yeah, exactly. We come in as a team where, we take over everything. We even do, when we set up, we'll take over your personal stuff. So we're going to put out your favors and all those things. So we basically say, you have a lot of other things that you need to be doing today. You go off and do those things. You're picking up family. Hopefully you're having maybe a spa day. You're trying to do personal. Exactly. So what we're trying to do is just remove that stress from you and do it in a manner that's everything's uniform, looks how it's supposed to be, and precise. So that's what we're there for.
So the wedding stresses come well in advance of the wedding day. People begin thinking about, I'm going to say brides start thinking about how the room is going to look and how everything is going to, that vibe people are going to feel months in advance, probably before the engagement ring is even there.
They've been thinking about this for a long time.
Exactly. So let's walk through the process of what you would suggest people do when it comes to setting up the room decorations to relieve some of that stress.
Yeah. So, when you're looking at the room, what you're trying to do is pick a place that looks and feels like you guys. You're looking at time of year. You're looking at where in relation are all my people coming from, and you're trying to basically find a space that you feels like you, or that you can make look like you. So that's usually where people start when they're looking for decor. And we're also looking at things like budget, size of venue, and that's where you're trying to go. And from there, we can then bring in our part and look at that piece. Where do we make it even more you? So, sometimes we need to make a space fresh. So we're going to cover the walls and you make it a room within a room if you're wanting to hide things and stuff like that. We also look at what do we use in the room that fits you. So we've been really looking a lot lately. We've been doing tents, rustic venues, machine sheds on the farm. So how do we take those pieces and make it look beautiful and make it look like the couple?
So is there certain ways that people should be looking at it from, the planning point of view, like you say, making it you? How does someone go about making it you? Like, is there certain websites that you suggest, or is it simply a Pinterest thing, or do you
Pinterest is our best and worst enemy, because Pinterest is a way to get a starting board of what do I want my wedding to feel like? Not necessarily even look like, but feel like. So that's what I say to people is bring me inspiration pictures. And you'll tend to notice like a pattern that they have. And from that is a start. Like, I want it to feel rustic, or I want it to feel very modern, or I want it to be very romantic. I want lots of candles and soft lighting, or I want it to be colorful and bright. Like, so those are the pieces that you usually start with, and Pinterest is the best way to do that. Also, a lot of people spend a lot of time looking at pictures of things, you know, people put on social media, you know, weddings we've done or places they've seen, so they can go back to that and say, I really related to this, or I like this element that I've seen. And then you start to notice a pattern of, okay, this is what I think they are looking for. I've gotten really good over my, you know, 10 years of consults, is sometimes people come in and say, I don't know what I want. And then you kind of listen to them talk a bit, and you put something on a table, and they go, that's exactly what I wanted. I just couldn't, you know, visually see it until I looked at it in front of me. So yeah.
What is there some trends that are happening right now? Is there, like, is rustic still the big thing, or is it moving away from that at all?
You know, rustic is really big right now and continues to be, but I'm noticing a shift in rustic. So we're moving a little bit more away from maybe like burlap and lace rustic, and we're going into more of what I would call like an outdoor rustic. So we're seeing a lot of wood elements. We're seeing antlers are really big right now. Yeah, antlers are huge right now. So what I would say is actually happening in the wedding world is we're getting this, I'm going to say, back to your roots wedding feel. So people are getting married on their own farms or in rustic venues or places that feel very back to home or an earthy feel. And they're bringing in a lot of elements of outdoors coming in, and also of how it ties into them personally, you know, if they're on their own properties, in their own spaces. So they're bringing that aspect. So that's where I feel like we're going a lot more right now, is that really home piece of weddings.
So if that's the case, and I know I've definitely seen an influx or an increase of outdoor events and shed weddings, and you know, people are looking for farms to go get married on, and that sort of thing. So there's lots of locations in, you know, within the city. There's, you know, the halls in every small town around here and stuff like that, where you and I are from. What would you say? Is there ways to take that look and put it into a room that, say, doesn't scream, you know, antlers?
Yeah, I mean, we always can do that, and it has a lot to do with a lot of it is lighting and how we create. I will always start on a ceiling with something like that if it's possible, because if we can take a ceiling and, you know, peak it, for example, to look, you know, make swags or something to replicate a barn or something like that. So we have a way to almost trick the eye on when you walk into a space, say maybe a banquet space, and you can transform it to look like something people don't expect to when they walk into that room. So, I mean, we've learned some really cool tricks of the trades, and being in these spaces a lot over the years, we've figured out what works and what doesn't, and how to create that. Another thing I think is big is how we do lighting. You know, bistro lights right now are a huge thing that's trending. Yeah, and they're
so pretty.
They're so pretty, and they create that feel for somebody where it's that, you know, almost I'm out under the stars feel, or that outside feel that you can bring inside. So
yeah. Well, I know they're the wedding just around Wellwood there that you and I were both involved in, with the outdoor. I mean, they took them and they put them outdoors just to give it for that cocktail time, and holy crap, did that look amazing.
Yeah, and that's a really good example. I mean, we took a machine shed that's used for, you know, combines and things like that, and we transformed it, you know, into a beautiful, elegant space. We did wall draping, we did ceiling draping, we did lighting, and from there, then we could build inside that space. So we brought in, you know, her rustic elements and her chivalry chairs, and that's what created a look of rustic in a very unrustic. It was a very industrial space, right?
It's very industrial.
Yeah, so it's pretty neat to see how you can transform some things.
If there was one thing that you would suggest to couples that are looking for, you know, to make their area theirs and so on, what would probably be the biggest advice that you would give them?
You know, what I usually say to people is we have those rental pieces, like the linens and the centerpieces and all that. But what really makes it you is the things that people look around the room at. So things like table numbers, favors, you know, when you first come in, I love to tell people lots of pictures of you guys, even things like how you decorate your cake table and your, you know, tell a story from beginning to end of what you are and what your love story is. And you can do that through decor. People love to see the personal piece of weddings. A lot of times on the tables, we'll see someone have, you know, events throughout the night, little descriptions of who the people are standing up with them. So I say, I'll bring the pieces that I can't create for you, and you bring me the other elements that tell us who you are as the couple and your love story, and then we tie the pieces together.
So tell us just a little bit more about Party Professionals. Give us a little bit more details on maybe what you see coming up for yourselves.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, one of the things that we love to do is stay on top of trends and what's happening. And one of the things we've always tried to do is kind of bring the things sometimes people see in the Pinterest world or the bigger cities that we didn't know we really could do. And we're trying to bring it here. So, and that's really been cool because people are responding really well to that. So we're seeing lots of new trends, you know, like the Shivari chairs that have come in, like those are huge trending things. And what we're really working on, I feel like this coming year as well, is unique weddings. This year coming up, I'm really excited for what's in store of the people who we're working with and how different their weddings are going to look, or spaces that we've never been in before. And when we do something, we want to create awe, and we want to create representation, again, like I said, and that can be it doesn't have to be over the top. I mean, it can be minimal or over the top, because there's ranges of what people are looking for and who they are. So yeah, I just think it's us. We're trying to create weddings that are unique to couples, and we're trying to, you know, break barriers and do all the new things that people see, you know, elsewhere and think, oh, we could never do that here. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you with me today. I really appreciate you giving me the time. I know the people that watch this video will appreciate it too. Your expertise is always spot on, and there's a reason why you have the reputation you do. You're truly not only an expert at what you do, but you're just fantastic, Katrina. So
thank you. I really appreciate that.